Welcome back to Gaming Mysteries, where my timing to get this video up while EVO was still going on failed, if no one noticed. But then again, how could you notice? The weekend was chock full of hot fighting game EVO action, and segues, the like of which would bedazzle anyone. Of course, my eyes were focused towards Marvel, because for months now, people were saying Marvel was dead. Even though it wasn't, but still they were saying it. And then Justin Wong single-handedly saved Marvel with a tweet confirmation to prove it. Marvel started trending, the heavens parted, and everyone lived happily ever after. But years before the word Marvel was trending on Twitter in relation to a fighting game tournament, there was another fighting game, actually called Marvel, being developed by EA, Chicago, and then it was cancelled by EA. So today on Gaming Mysteries, I'll be talking about the cancelled Marvel fighting game called Marvel for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Now, it's worth noting that since this is a cancelled game, I'm limited with what footage I can use because there's not a ton of it. To help supplement that lack of footage though, please enjoy my rusty Marvel 3 lack thereof skills in footage form. Now, Marvel, also called Marvel Chaos by some, was a game being developed by EA Chicago. It would be EA's second go at making a fighting game with the Marvel license, their first being Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects, a title that wasn't exactly highly praised by critics. In fact, it was initially said that this game would have some kind of relation to Nemesis, even being a sequel, until it was later confirmed that Marvel, as I'll refer to it as, would be its own new franchise using only Marvel characters, which was probably a smart decision as, since Nemesis wasn't that positively received, why continue it? Now, some characters to appear in the game are going to be Spider-Man, Doom, Captain America, Phoenix, Thor, and the Hulk. Though, the studio tried to initially go with a more realistic art style for these characters, which led to anorexic Spider-Man and Fat Hulk, which Marvel didn't like, so that had to be changed. I figured I'd mention that before I forgot it. But moving on, though. Now, since when Marvel began development, the studio was still very busy finishing up Def Jam Icon, not a ton of people could be spared to work on the new project. But regardless, a small team was put together and began conceptualizing Marvel's direction. To help focus in on the overall concept of the game, the team created a small trailer. It starts with a group of scared citizens running in fear from stilted walking doom. So Spider-Man swings in to save the day, which works out really well for him, and thus a large-scale battle ensues within the city. In the trailer, you see Spider-Man evading attacks from Doom, Doom picking up a car and throwing it, and you can also see the city taking massive damage in the process, while the citizens ran amok. And this was the concept for the game. They wanted to make a Marvel fighter that would take place in an open city environment, to not simply fight your opponent, but also engage with the entire city during your fight. And reading up on some of the ideas that were planned for this interactive battleground, it's plain to see that this was going to be a very ambitious project. From the start of the game's development, the team's goal was to have every building be destructible, while giving you the ability to throw opponents through walls, buildings, train tracks, and other things of the sort. This of course proved to be no easy task, as creating a completely destructible environment takes a little while. And to make matters worse, the team was constantly running into performance issues, which really limited them as to what they could actually do within the game. Now, a more interesting gameplay mechanic that was being thrown around was the idea of the city interacting with the fight, the destruction caused by it, and you could interact with the city in turn. Conceptually, the idea was to have civilians that were affected by your direct or indirect actions interact. So, for example, if a citizen was in danger and you saved them, bystanders may start fighting with you to help, and vice versa. If you hurt citizens and do other quote-unquote evil things, the cops might shoot you. It's an interesting idea to put into a fighting game, a bit gimmicky, sure, but neat. The issue, though, is that the team spent a long time just working on the crowd aspect of the game, and not the actual gameplay, which by itself did have some issues. The team, coming off of working on Fight Night, went with an analog-style control scheme for the game, as in your attacks and specials would be performed with the analog stick. But since all the characters had so many different moves, it was difficult to customize things to match each character's distinct style. A bigger issue the team ended up running into, though, was just keeping opponents close to each other. Because unlike in a 2D fighting game where it's not that hard to lock down your opponent in the corner and ruin their day, with a fighter of this scale, not only is locking them down an issue, simply staying in the same area to hit each other is a challenge, especially if you're punching each other across the map constantly. To solve this issue, the game's scale was cut back considerably, so instead of engaging within a huge city, here's 5 blocks. Have fun, kids. And as development continued, it just started to seem like this was a game with plenty of good ideas, but no real direction. They had their couple of blocks and fighting system, kinda, but there didn't seem to be any real purpose to it, or even a story to explain why everyone was beating the crap out of each other. But since the team had the okay to do their own thing, they did just that. They continued to work on the combat, and apparently it was starting to get pretty fun, but at that point, it was already too late. As on November 6, 2007, EA closed its Chicago studio, and cancelled Marvel right along with it. Furthermore, EA and Marvel jointly agreed to discontinue development of the Marvel fighting game, at least under EA's brand. The reasoning for EA's sudden distancing from Marvel is rumored to have something to do with them wanting to separate themselves from properties that they themselves don't own, which isn't necessarily a bad business decision, but even so, you killed Marvel. But that was Marvel, the cancelled fighter that 'twas not to be. The game is one that seemed to hold a lot of ambition, trying to integrate stuff that you would normally not see in any fighting games, to create its own unique, fun experience. We're gonna use the word fun relatively, but with lack of direction, those ambitious ideas that the team set out with remain just that, ideas. This has been Gaming Mysteries. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, welcome back to End Slate, where last time on End Slate. So today on End Slate, I'm gonna End Slate you guys. You just watched a video, a Gaming Mysteries, on a cancelled fighting game called Marvel, and I hope you enjoyed said Gaming Mysteries. Sorry that took a while to get uploaded. I kind of got sick there for a while, but yeah, you know, it wouldn't be me if I didn't get sick. Just like it wouldn't be me if I didn't End Slate everybody. So let's hop into this End Slate crazy world we call End Slate. I'm going to recommend videos to you guys because I'd like to do that. One of the videos I would like to recommend, you don't have to click on it if you don't want to, by the way, it's just a suggestion, but one of the videos I'd like to recommend is the last video I did on this channel, which was a bullshit creepypasta storytime on Haunted Ocarina of Time. I wasn't sure if that was the story name for a second, and then it sounded... I gotta check. Was it Yeah, it was Haunted Ocarina of Time. That was a dumb story name. Anyways, there's that. And then I would also like to recommend the Gaming Mysteries on Mega Man Online, a cancelled Mega Man game that 'twas to be online. Ta-da! And then for the bottom of the screen, if you like my videos and would like to subscribe, that's appreciated. You may do so, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Appreciated though, definitely, but not forced upon. Sorry, my voice is still a little rough. Yeah. And then also I should mention, because I gotta keep remembering to mention this, I have a Twitter where I post updates about videos. If you'd like to follow that, you may, or if you don't want to, you don't have to. No, it's up to you. The world is everyone's. I'm gonna end this. You know, some people say they like the train wreck End Slates. I don't. This video's done now. Bye guys. See you next time on End Slate.